Later today, some big names in the derivatives industry will be talking about the effect of the new financial reforms on their business. The Futures Industry Association is hosting an event here in New York. One of those taking part is our next guest, Gary DeWaal. He is the Group General Counsel for Newedge Group. Gary, so glad you could come in. What does it mean, if anything, to the marketplace? We heard Goldman Sachs perhaps considering spinning off its prop unit. We have to assume there's a lot of other banks considering the same thing. What does it mean, if anything, to the marketplace if this happens?
Well, Deirdre, it's really a game changer. I mean, that's the most amazing thing about this whole thing. What's happened is you've had all these products that are being traded in banks. They've been trading on off exchange for years. And now, for the first time, this stuff is going to be traded on exchange, just like normal exchange-traded derivatives. It's going to change the way people do the business fundamentally.
Now, Newedge is just one of the companies that is poised to benefit from these changes, right? I mean, we need transparency and we need clearing, and those are just two of the things that people can, I guess, increase when they work with Newedge or any of your competitors.
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, I think we got the right model. That's the theory of our shareholders, Société Générale and Crédit Agricole. We're one of the largest exchange-traded brokers in the world. We tend to dance month to month, according to the CFTC, in exchange-traded funds, number one and number two. So we think this is great for us, and we actually do think it's great for the industry in general. As I said, as you said, it increases transparency, it brings a central counterparty to the process, and it should reduce systemic risk.
I mean, interbroker dealers should also do pretty well as a result of regulation, right? I mean, ICAP,
Correct.
Jeffries, there's a whole list that
Yeah, I mean,
benefit.
the beneficiaries are going to be the exchanges for sure, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, ICE. It's going to benefit the interdealer brokers, and it's going to affect the pure brokers like us and one of our competitors, MF Global.
So bigger picture, I mean, it shows that the middleman is making a comeback, right? Because for years, the idea was basically to cut out the broker when possible.
Sure, on this one, that's the whole idea. The idea is that there's an intermediary, and through the intermediary, there'll be transparency.
So transparency, obviously the clearinghouse. Now your clients, as you mentioned, financial companies, I mean, asset managers, hedge funds, you have a pretty long list. Are you seeing more business these days? We have to assume that's a big yes, but can you quantify it at all versus, for example,
Well, I'll give you a
ago?
surprising fact. In fact, this kind of business has been trading now on exchange since, I'm sorry, through central clearing parties since the May of 2002, when the New York Mercantile Exchange introduced the Clearport system. So it's really nothing new. It's just an evolution into financial products.
What do you think is going to be the biggest boon as you see it? I mean, what products are you seeing the highest increase in frequency?
Well, I think what you'll see is the interest rate swaps. And again, you bring up a very good point. The legislation really won't be effective for about 1 year. There's a lot of rulemaking that has to happen. But in fact, the products already started to trade. There's the ICDG, which is one of the clearinghouses that are going to offer this product. CME, through its Eris platform, is beginning to trade interest rate swaps. You will see this product trading long before the legislation is implemented through rulemaking of the SEC and the CFTC.
Gary, you alluded to your owners, two French banks. I mean, we've talked a lot in the U.S. about the more stringent that regulation becomes here, more business goes overseas. And that was one of the biggest arguments for letting the system continue as it was. Is there any business that you see being able to be repatriated that perhaps not could have had that chance before?
I do, Deirdre. In the legislation, there's buried something which really has nothing to do with derivatives, OTC derivatives. It's called portfolio margining. And this is the process through which you basically, or through clients, get a benefit for offsetting assets. Right now, you can do that kind of trading in the UK. Clients can get the benefits of offsetting margin. Here in the United States, they can't today. Now the legislation has been enacted. It will give the SEC and the CFTC an impetus to get this rulemaking done to help bring some business from the UK back to the United States.
Do you see any other larger businesses that are likely to come back? And I mean, how much is it worth, Gary, in dollar amounts?
Well, we see it, I mean, frankly, we see it worth billions of dollars just for our own enterprise. But one of the great advantages is the overall. A lot of people say that this might hurt liquidity. That's what you'll hear a lot of the dealers saying. In fact, we think the exact opposite will happen. We think that because of this exchange trading, you'll see new players in the market, groups called professional trading groups. Right now, the dealers are the only ones who typically make markets in the derivatives. We see the professional trading groups doing that also. We see them doing it on U.S. exchanges. We see them providing more attraction to trading this product. We see what's now a buy and hold product becoming a traded product. And that's going to be good ultimately for hedgers and real other people who really need to get in and out of the markets easily.
So essentially you're saying water is sort of like water, or money is like water. You put the stone there, it's still going to flow. It's just going to flow in a different direction.
And I think the velocity could increase.
All right, Gary, thank you so much. Gary DeWaal joining us there. He is Group General Counsel at Newedge Group.